I've seen it. I love the music. But what number in the series? Did they get the letters out of order? Is this the new Loki series?
Hello, white people.
I'm Peter Drucker.
I'm drunk.
Being an executive means having
relax a
no
bit.
time. It means that everybody moves in on your time. Everybody wants time from
The
you.
charisma is overwhelming.
There's always more work to be done than there are.
Is this another energy vampire character from What We Do in the Shadows?
So much longer than it should.
So this is
Twice as
TikTok?
long as the
Weird.
boss thinks it should.
He's got a tick.
And yet there is a difference in the way effective.
God, I feel like I got
executives
called into the
use
boss's
their
office and
time,
I don't even work
and
here.
in the way most of us do.
He's the surviving
right now, we
Schmengi
want
brother.
To show you a busy,
The funniest
evil,
Schmengi
hard-driving
backstage.
executive and his fairly typical working day.
White shirt and suspenders. Why do you ask?
Right. No. Well, we had 10,000 of those units, but we shipped them out on the 31st. Go ahead, Ralph. I'm listening.
Well, the board meeting is set for the
Well, I'll
22nd.
take care of your confirmation myself.
Oh,
first.
meeting interruptus.
We'll have all the proposals ready, so don't worry. Yeah. Hey, Margie, what time am I due at the Kiwanis?
You have an hour.
Good. Well, it
Like a
was good
Zoom
talking
meeting
to you,
without
Bill.
video.
Yeah, and I'll see you at the club on Thursday. Yeah, right. Okay, goodbye.
Mr. Arnold's on the phone.
I'll take it in a minute.
You did get the note on the stock tender.
Yeah. Here's my reply. Yeah, and Margie, get me Kerner. I want to get into the situation myself. And let's hold everything until this afternoon, Ralph, huh? What we need around here is a 36-hour day.
Oh, hope that's my dealer.
Tom Arnold, how are you?
Buddy!
Hey, you're kidding. What are the odds?
How's Roseanne?
I
Still a
see.
celebrity?
Want me to watch the
Well,
Stupids
Tom,
with you?
we'd certainly
Okay.
like to do that for you. It'll take a bit of doing, of course. But we pride ourselves on service around here. Yeah, well, I'll take care of it myself.
Bring
Now,
those
you
tapes
rest
of
easy.
Trump.
You'll get your stuff toot sweet. Now, that's a promise.
Toot
Right.
Sweet. Yeah, that's the Tom Arnold Trayson I
I'm
used to
going down on
know.
the floor. So,
And have a heart attack.
one, get together what I'll need for the Kiwanis meeting. Two, get Taylor and set up a plans meeting for 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And three,
I get
notify the
paid
heads of all
whether you
departments that
do
I'll be
anything or
reading
not.
the daily reports myself from now on, as well as the weekly reports. That ought to keep them on their toes, huh? Oh, and tell my wife not to expect me for dinner, huh?
Or anything.
I'll be whoring.
What a jerk.
Mr. Lansing, a change
Meanwhile, on the
What's
set
all
of the
fuss about,
7-Ups.
Johnny? It develops that Arnold needs his .05 meg stuff before the rest of his order. Now, otherwise, he'll have to close down his lines. Now, if he
Welcome
needs
to
it, I
Vague
think he ought to have it,
Industries.
and I promised him he would.
Mr. Lansing, the production schedule is set up so that the .05 megs work with another batch of orders. Now, if we try to do those first, we have to reset the machines.
What's so tough about that? It's a 3-hour reset job.
More like a whole day.
Oh, Myra, it's a 3-hour job.
A
I know every piece of
3-hour
machinery in this
job.
plant blindfolded, and I could make that change myself in 3 hours.
Just make 'em in
Why can't you
China.
people?
It isn't just the rejigging, Mr. Lansing. It's the material flow that has to be rerouted. The
Jerry
setup
Orbach is
shift-
pissed.
So we stretch a little for a customer like Tom Arnold.
Okay,
Buddy.
we stretch. But that means we throw off somebody else's order. Delay 2-3 days, maybe more.
Okay, ship the Moderna vaccine and hold back the Johnson & Johnson.
Well, this one, and this,
3?
and this
What
one.
a
All the
pussy.
Charlie Fisher stuff.
All right. Get going on the rejigging, and I'll tell Charlie to straighten it out with the customer.
I gotta go shit on somebody else now.
Every week it's something else. You can't get yourself organized around it.
Is he doing his
You can't get
one-man
yourself
show
set
now?
up. Down here every Monday and Thursday, and he says, you can do this.
You can't bring
do
in the
that."
union.
Well, we just learned this minute, as a matter of fact, that there's going to be a slight shipping delay in your 8410 order, and
Yeah, we left the bodies and only moved the
boy,
headstones.
he loves this a lot. Well, no, it's just one of those things. I mean, nobody's infallible. Well, we just didn't want you waiting for the order, and
Go what, myself?
it's going to blow up the whole telephone system.
We have that.
Ew, another man's ear moisture.
Hello, Ira? Ira, this is Ev.
Yeah, I have no
Lansing.
idea what we do here.
I happened to be in Charlie Fisher's office, and I walked into this hassle. Will you calm down, Ira? Now listen, I'm free for lunch, and I'm going to be out in your part of the valley anyway, so why don't we get together and straighten this out?
You can tell me what I do.
The strip club out there has a great buffet.
And listen, after lunch, we can go over to that old barn where we picked up those antique andirons last year. Do you remember?
Wink, wink.
Yeah, see what we can pick up
That's
now.
code for a nooner.
Yeah, good. See you in about an hour.
Antiquing solves everything.
Damn it all, Charlie, why couldn't you handle that? Now I have to go out for lunch, and I'm pressed for time as it is.
I was handling it.
He was steaming like an iron. Seems I'm always picking your chestnuts out of the fire.
It's a nut company?
This is Lansing. Will you get me my office?
It weren't my chestnuts.
Margie.
Paneling.
Call us and tell them I'll be
I don't think
somewhat
that's
late.
what they
And
make.
push
I just
everything
like
else up.
saying paneling.
I have a crash lunch. Yeah, I'll let you know where it is. Who?
Matt Gates, what does he want?
All right, send a wire confirming. Right. Well, you gotta admit, I saved you a couple of hours and a lot of aggravation.
I'm going to join the Pathmark Company, so...
Saved again.
By a meddlesome man.
What do you mean the meeting's been delayed?
Well, Mr. Lansing has an emergency situation, but he's asked me to set up another time for you later this afternoon.
I gotta take a crap.
Later. Well, we got another rain check.
Par for the course.
Now, Evans, look, you know as well as I do how late we are with this design decision. If we don't get rolling immediately, we're never going to be able to finish it.
Well, look, Mathers, I'm not the president. I just work here, same as you do.
Does anyone really
The
work here?
congregation meets.
Doesn't meet.
Oh?
Mr. Mathis, I have another time for you this afternoon, 5 p.m. sharp.
Now it's 5 p.m.
Sharp.
I'm really not involved in this at all, and I have 6 other things to do. But I'll be here looking wise because he loves to keep us all in the picture.
I think Mr. Mathis is about to bust a gut.
Everyone calm slightly
Margie,
down.
when he comes in, nail him to the chair, will you?
It's like they all work for Jim
Mathis,
Allen
if
or
you knew the burden
something.
that Mr. Lansing carries around here, you'd understand something about that chair.
Shut up, Karen.
Margie, you ever get tired working forever, you come on over to me.
Well, no, it's true. A great deal of this company depends upon Mr. Lansing, and he takes that responsibility very seriously. You all get vacations. When's the last time that he had one?
Lesson number 1, never attack a tiger cub in the presence of his mother or his secretary.
5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, they're doing it. Couldn't they at least start singing Brotherhood of Man? Ah, we couldn't leave the room. We're trapped in a vortex.
Sorry I'm late.
We're not.
We'll just have to make it up by working twice as hard. Where's my evaluation paper?
Right here, and your plane reservation is all set.
Good, good, good.
And you're filling in for
just
the
one
Pope.
call, huh? Call advertising, will you, Jackson? You know, we have a very weak area there, and I'm going to have to get into it myself. Well, now, shoot. We're here to decide which of your current product developments we're to go ahead with and which to chop.
Time is very short as it is. We're thinking of 3 years, you know.
Say, have I got everybody's reports and recommendations here?
Jackson's not in, but he'll get back to you later this afternoon.
If I don't get the there's going to be hell to pay. He's really goofing on his job.
Mr. Lansing.
Mathis, I think your mini-transformer idea is very intriguing.
I
I'd
win.
suggest a good hard look at the market for that before making a decision.
I've done that, and the potential is all there.
Well, I have heard other things.
No, it is an interesting idea, but in terms of
This
development
meeting has
to
the rhythm of
completion,
the
it might
mine
present
shaft
certain
chat and
problems.
Dr.
Oh,
Strange.
everything presents problems. Boy, when you were working out the computer units with Taylor here, didn't that present problems?
Well, we have the time factor here, and the way the casing's been designed, it's not
Mathis, you're
totally worked
Mr.
out yet.
Doom and Gloom.
Oh, it's a
I've never seen
board
you completely
meeting.
positive about a project yet.
You're the Leonard
specs are
Cohen
wrong
of the
as they go along.
boardroom.
We can always adjust them.
But in a development like this, metallurgical problems have to be very...
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this wire just came in, and I thought you'd like to see it.
No, copper.
Damn right I want to see it. Cable him immediately to suspend negotiations. I want to sit in on that conference myself.
Mr. Lansing, I think we should take just as much time right now as possible.
Right. Margie, when's my next?
6 o'clock. And don't forget that newspaper man's coming up for a drink.
Ooh, and that's important. Well, I tell you, if we don't finish by 6 o'clock, we'll all go over to my place tonight and burn a little midnight oil, huh?
You
But
must
only
forget
Earth and
that
Sun
thumb
and
drive
Moon,
the other night.
arguably their weakest album.
Wait a minute. Hold everything. I think we're all pretty familiar with all the possibilities of each product. I don't think it's necessary to go over the same ground 1,000 times.
Or a million.
Logic tells the story.
You sure as
Now-
hell aren't.
You want a decision so that we can get on with it, huh? Fine. Let's decide here and now to shoot the works with the Mini. and spend the rest of our time today dealing with questions relative to it.
And coffee and donuts.
Well, my question is how much budget it'll take to bring it to a working prototype.
Why don't you just
There are plenty of
kickstart
other
it?
questions, believe
And
me.
they'll get answered. Mathis, if you'd only have a positive approach. Or is that too much to ask from a research PhD?
Why don't you SMD?
Sick burn, though, from the boss.
Mathis, you must be joking. This is the most incredible memo I've read in 25 years of handling company funds.
No, I'm not joking at all.
I'm snarking.
We went into this development stage with an hour's consideration. Every time I raised a question, Lansing took another call. Now, we're going to need exactly what I put down there. I don't know, maybe more to get the bugs out of this piece of hardware. If we don't, everything
wet.
we've done so far will be wasted.
Like me.
Well, that can't be allowed to happen.
Well, I told him we had trouble with the casing material. I wanted to bring my people in, let him make an
This next
evaluation
close-up is
himself.
how I look after
I'll be
getting out of the
prepared.
shower.
No, he had to go to a fund-drive dinner. And I tell you this, we still don't know what other factors will block our schedule.
Like a pandemic.
Well, Lansing will have to okay this kind of dough himself. I'm not going to take the responsibility.
Why didn't you tell me there might be such severe problems? That's your job, Mathis, to keep me informed.
And aroused.
I did tell
That's working.
Well, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the time it's taking.
you. The tour wrapped up.
Nobody keeps me really informed as to the extent
like a
of the
madness
problems
of
around
King
here.
George,
they
the
always wait
Mad
until
Men
something goes
edition.
wrong. Well, I'm not going to make any snap decisions on this. I want a meeting tomorrow. And I want everyone involved, even the least little bit, to be here.
What's the plan?
I want everyone kept in the picture.
And everyone wearing Harlequin costumes. I just want it that way.
Peter,
What are you doing in my office?
one of the basic problems, as I see it, is that I'm dependent upon too much. In the end, I always have to do everything myself.
And what would happen if
Mel
you
Brooks
did?
is good in this.
Look, I gave Mathis his head, and it's costing us plenty now. After all, there's only 24 hours in the day.
Well, no, there aren't that many. It only seems like it.
What?
But the important thing is whether you know
Wrong.
how many hours you really have and where they are going.
Peter,
You're bugging.
my time is scheduled and rationed like a war plan. I have every minute figured. I must, if I'm going to have time for everything.
Like Burgess Meredith.
Everything may just not really be as important as some things are.
Well, of course, I figure out which is important and which isn't, and I put the weight where it belongs.
Do you? Do you really know how much solid time you give to those activities that really deserve it?
Of course I do.
Now, isn't it possible that a lot of time is just slipping through your fingers?
Ha ha! Tell that to my wife.
What the hell does that mean?
I haven't had a meal home in 10 days, for instance. Wasted time, Peter? Why, I'm on the run from morning till night.
Well, he does have a runner's
Well,
body.
that I can see. But how much mileage you get out of all this running? That's another question.
Could he be
Tell me,
subtitled, please?
Would you be willing to try a little experiment on yourself?
A
have
kinky
your
experiment?
secretary just
Have you ever
put
taken
down
out your
in writing
appendix?
for 1 week, minute by minute, everything you do, so that at the end of the week you can look at it and see where the time really goes.
A time log?
Like Doctor Who?
Sure.
I'll pinch out a log right now. Get me Commissioner Gordon.
Have security
Marjorie,
come to my
would you
office.
come in for a minute, please? Yeah. Peter,
Fuck off.
I know where my time goes, and I have a
Detroit.
reason for everything. Margie, Mr. Drucker and I are experimenting.
Yikes.
We're going to
Kick his
keep
ass.
a log of my time for a week. You're to put down everything I do.
Everything.
Yeah.
Every
Small piece of
single
paper.
thing.
10 a.m. crushed the soul of an employee. At 11 a.m. drew up plans for pipe bombs. Noon took another dump. 10 farted in the hallway.
That's scheduled.
Raided phone sex workers. Laid the groundwork for the Me Too movement. Peed in the lobby
Now, wait a
plant.
Reams
This
of
doesn't seem
paper
right, this,
wasted to
personnel
justify his
situation.
salary.
Why, I spent hours talking to them.
You talked to them for 20 minutes on
Why don't you put
Thursday
her in charge?
and
She's
10
the
minutes
smart
on
one.
Friday,
Yeah.
Just the way we
She
have it
seems
here.
like she knows what's going
Now,
on.
wait a minute, Eb. Did you really take that big government contract and at a special price
No.
in a 5-minute telephone conversation on Friday without any facts or any study?
Oh, damn it, I didn't have any time.
Cop.
And now what about that breakfast meeting you called Tuesday morning at
Jesus, is this the guy you face at the end of your life and he goes through every embarrassing, minute detail?
And that wasn't the purpose of the meeting at all.
Well, I remember, but it came up.
And what about practically a day you gave to the fund drive speech?
Well, Peter, I have a responsibility to that fund drive. I've been asked to chair that for 10 years now.
It's my only joy. Don't take it away.
Maybe each time somebody else took that responsibility. Has it ever occurred to you that they might ask you only because they know you expect to be asked?
But NAMBLA counts on me.
Free lunch is free lunch.
This log, I admit, is very surprising.
I no longer know who I am.
It's like my life is a Snyder cut.
There's never as much time as you think.
But I can make it longer.
The time log is always a surprise, no matter how many times you have run it on yourself. And when you look at this log and have recovered from the shock, and it's going to be a shock, I can tell you.
Does anything shock you?
Then first ask, what are the things
That's better
that
for this
take my time and contribute nothing? And ask,
it's like we're binge watching this guy.
What would happen if they weren't done at all? You'd be surprised how many things the world can do without.
It's better for the shot.
And
Thank
how
you.
few things are really being missed. And if the answer is, if I don't do this,
would you just fucking sit down?
Be ruthless and cut it out.
This guy is like walking sleep apnea.
No.
As it turns out, he doesn't even work here.
Or say it nastily, but say it.
Nastily.
And the second question, which is perhaps even more important.
This man may also be taken in suppository form.
The right kind of time to the truly important things. Our friend Lansing, I assure you, spent an enormous amount of time on the right things, and he got nothing for all the time. He spent it in dribs and drabs and 10 minutes here and 20 minutes there, and nothing gets done. All the important things in your work require a good, solid chunk of time, an hour, maybe a day. And if you don't give it to them, well, you get nothing to show for all the time and hard work. The difference between
getting sleepy.
The Lansings
it's working.
And the truly effective people
Dr. Nodos
is not that the effective people manage their time better.
Be wrong.
The main difference is the effective ones know how little time they have. They don't believe
would you just sit, please,
that they have 24
Mr.
hours in their day. They know they have one or two at most. They know that time is a very peculiar resource.
Yeah, it's all happening now, every moment of time.
There ain't no more of it.
I want the time back that you took from me just
that
now.
All the important things they have to do
but it just sits
take
down.
a lot of time, solid, continuous time.
He has hemorrhoids or something.
I have hemorrhoids.
A new product or a major personnel decision.
I have riffroids.
Or almost anything of importance. They know it can't be done if you just give it 5 minutes.
I lost track of what you're saying. Could you go back about a half hour?
Do it between meetings. And so
not that my mind is drifting, but what's that wagon in the back?
Time goes. Maybe they'll get a little more.
That's all I can see now, Frank, is the wagon.
But the most important thing is to know how little there really is.
It's kind of nice.
What is it, though? It's you can't put stuff in it because it's full.
There is nobody, believe me, who has the
Maybe
time
that's
problem
what they
the
make.
executive has. Nobody has everybody else move in on him. Nobody lives in the kind of glass house in which you live, in which everybody can move in on your time, and everybody does. And you'll never find the answer to the time problem created by your best customer when he calls up and wants to talk to you
this
about
is why some people shouldn't improv.
or about how to get his daughter into the college of her choice.
This is an example of the filibuster. You decide.
He's got some job.
This is why we have to end the filibuster.
Doesn't help you any. You've got to listen to him.
Maybe they make ceramic lady bells.
That when you don't
what the hell are those things?
For work,
look at even those figurines in the back are judgmental of him.
He'll reciprocate the compliment.
You know, the audience has already gone home.
And that's the way it goes, day in and day out, and there is no escape from it.
Just sit, stay seated.
If I were asked
Well, you won't be.
One thing an executive could do that would really and quickly make him more effective, make him achieve more, and make him enjoy more what he's doing. I'd say make sure you know where your time goes.
Detroit.
Don't depend on memory. It's treacherous. Make sure your
zoomed in. Don't.
secretary
Okay, everything good.
puts down what you're doing,
Oh,
and make
just
sure you look
fine,
at it
Stan.
and look at it again.
Oh, we didn't get to see him sit again.
I had no idea he was selling something. Love the music. That's why I chose this short. BELLAK. Let's drink.
This had dramatic sequences in it. Oh, that guy's such a James Karen.
They were all slightly familiar.
Yeah. Good actors paying the rent. God bless them. Now stay tuned for Godzilla versus Time Management.
Rockville, Maryland, the Hollywood of Maryland.